Hi guys, thought I might do a review of a great little replica airgun I've been able to get my hands on recently. This is the Umarex M45 Cqbp, which means close quarters battle pistol. It is a full metal CO2 powered airgun, has a blowback action, and it takes 4.5mm or 177 caliber steel BBs. Firstly, this is a licensed Colt product. It's made by none other than Colt, which means you get the original Colt trademarks, government model Colt 45, yada yada. You've even got the original Colt logo on this, and you've also got Colt railgun, new license, whatever. Great gun, really authentic. It's actually modelled after the M45 Cqbp, which has recently been adopted by the US Marine Corps, and I believe a couple of other quite elite units within the US military. So it's amazing that the old Colt 45, Colt 1911 platform is still going strong despite being over 100 years old. So this is a replica of what is a very current military pistol, basically. So for airgun enthusiasts out there, replica airgun owners, that's definitely a real plus. Now, being an Umarex product, you get the usual nice box, nice and glossy. It's what's on the inside that counts, but it's nice that they present their stuff. You get the usual bits and pieces, a loading tool of course that you'll need to load your magazine. You get the usual really nicely put together Umarex owner's manual. It's mostly in English and a couple of other languages as well. It's really nicely illustrated. So if you're getting your hands on this for the first time, even if you are an experienced airgun owner, always worth checking out the manual, save doing something stupid. Well, that's a cardboard box basically, not much more to be said about that. Now, as far as weight goes, it weighs around, I'd say, a little under a kilogram, about 800 or 900 grams, so it's very close to an original 1911. Of course, not as heavy as the real thing, especially when loaded, but saying that, although I'm in a part of the world that sucks and doesn't have access to the real deal for me, I do know that there are 1911 derivatives out there that use lightweight alloys or stuff like that to keep them lighter. So this might be on par with a real aluminium frame or a real alloy frame 1911. So if you're going to be using this as a training tool or an accompaniment to the real thing you might have in your country of origin, then you know what, this might make a really nice firearms trainer. One reason I say that is because, again, it's a full metal blowback gun, but the controls on this do work like the real thing. Your magazine release works, you have a working slide stop or last round hold open, you have working hammer, working grip safety, and you've also got working disassembly as well. Again, just like the real thing. As far as disassembly goes, it takes a few steps. If you probably haven't owned a 1911 style handgun before, it can be a little bit awkward to get used to, but I think it's very easy, definitely, considering I really am a fan of the 1911 platform. And of course, one nice touch is in this replica is they've added the 3-dot style red sights, white dot sights. Okay. As far as loading your CO2 goes, that simply is your container for your CO2 capsule. You have a provided loading tool, basically an Allen key. Turn the Allen key clockwise, and that's your CO2 ready to go. As far as loading your BBs, you've got your magazine follower here. Keep that down with your thumb, and then you can maybe get an easy pour tub of BBs, load in like so, and you'll get around 25-24 rounds before the magazine's completely full. I find it a little bit fiddly at times. I think you need more than 2 pairs of hands to do it, but on the other hand, not really all that bad. Now if be warned, you will be using lots of CO2 and BBs with this, so it always helps to have an extra magazine on hand, and luckily Umarex do sell these as an optional accessory. And if you are going out for a bit of fun in the back garden, then at least another spare magazine is something I would really strongly recommend. Now, build quality is very good. It's a full metal gun. It's very well made. There's no cosmetic deficiencies. When I bought this, there's no rattle in the slide, no failures, no faults. As far as performance goes, again, reliability has been superb. There's been no, say, jams or problems like that, which can happen quite easily with these CO2 powered BB guns, especially BB shooters. They can have cycling issues, but this, for me at least, has been absolutely fine. As far as CO2 efficiency goes, you're probably going to be getting about 70 to 75 shots per CO2 capsule. What I recommend is when you're shooting one magazine and not using the other, or if you're loading another magazine and the other mag is temporarily not in use, stick these under your armpit and that'll make sure you get a bit more CO2 out of these. But yes, you'll be getting around 70 to 75 shots per CO2 in what is a relatively warm day. So performance for a blowback gun, keep in mind a blowback gun will use more CO2 than a fixed slide gun. For a blowback gun, CO2 performance is very good. Now, feet per second, I'm afraid I don't have a chronograph at hand, so I don't really know. All I can say is it's more than powerful enough to knock over cans pretty authoritatively at about 15-20 yards. I would estimate you're looking at around 400 feet per second or the very late 300 FPS mark, something like that. It's also pretty similar in features to other blowback semi-auto pistols, like say the Remington 1911, so it may well be worth consulting those models out there, as I'm sure plenty of info about them already exists. Accuracy wise, as you can see in my video, very good. Shooting at 10 yards with my aim being a 2.5 inch squared shoot and see target. I was getting all of them in there, and that was hardly precise shooting either. That was more or less blatting away rounds. I might as go as far as to say that with a more experienced shooter, or with me taking my time, I think you could get very good accuracy out of this gun, despite being a BB gun. And to be honest with you, for its intended purpose, which is going to be plinking in the back garden, can bashing, it's going to be more than good enough. So yeah, for a BB shooter, very accurate. Now, one thing I have noticed is that in the States, where of course Umarex are very popular now, I haven't came across this model. Instead, I've came across the Colt Commander and a couple of others. I'm not quite sure if the M45 Cqbp, at least in this kind of configuration, is for the European market. However, it's not one I've came across in the States. Overall, I'd say it's a great gun. Again, if it is available in the States, let me know. I always like to stand corrected. One thing I may say is that the desert tan finish might be a bit of a bone of contention for some people. It's a bit tactical, it's a bit Desert Storm. If this is not quite your thing, they also do this in its standard black configuration, but personally I really do love this desert tan style finish. I think it makes it stand out from the other replicas out there. So overall, that was another thing that drew me to the gun. So as far as plus sides go, it's a fully licensed copy. It has some really great features. The blowback action to this is really crisp. I like the fact it has realistic disassembly and many other realistic moving parts. Again, the only thing I would say is, because the magazine holds the CO2 capsule and the BBs, this is quite an expensive optional accessory, so if you want to get more of these, or at least more than one, it can set you back a little bit. And again, the desert tan finish, although I absolutely love it, I really like it. It may not be everyone's taste, and for that reason you can opt for the black model as well. Anyway, hopefully that should be about it. If I've missed anything, I'll annotate that as well. But overall, I think that's everything. So thanks for listening.